I did is I paid $1,500 for $1 million worth of press.
All right, you guys, welcome. It's the Donovan Sadiq Show. I am Donovan Sadiq with my partner in crime, Dimitra. Hey, local militant. Local militant. Every neighborhood has one, and she happens to be ours, and she is doing what she's going to be doing. You guys, look, I'm telling you, you guys want to hear a great show. You guys check out Dimitra K on Facebook. She goes live at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And if you miss her, you can check her out on her YouTube page. And we'll get her out there. Beautiful girl. Her man is coming into town tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that means, when's he leaving? Sunday?
No, he'll be here for about 2 weeks almost.
2 weeks?
Almost 2 weeks.
So that means you guys will be a week in bed.
No, we do other things.
Yeah, do other things. So I won't see you for a week.
No, I'll be around. Chilling.
Well, maybe we can get Al on the show so we can get a man's perspective
I doubt
on
it,
what the
but
hell's going on with the Houston Texans and why the Cowboys ain't kicking ass.
He might talk about that kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I'm gonna get him some way somehow. So and plus, so people can hear his country accent and stuff like that. So, but Al's a veteran and stuff like that. I want to see how everything's going and see if he gets upset by me bringing up his fight with the VA and
okay. Don't get him started.
Right. What I want to talk about in this hour is we've been talking about, well, at least in my show, me and Dee have been going down to Hollywood. We've gone into syndication. We want to thank you guys that have helped us go into syndication. When we started this journey, who would have thought that would have happened? But if you get the Amazon Echo, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be on Google Home and it's going to spread, you can just say, I want to hear the Donovan Sadiq Show. The Echo will find it, and you will get the greatest episodes of the Donovan Sadiq Show and the DK Show and all kinds of stuff. And so we're in syndication, and I think that's a blessing, and that's great. So for all of those people that said, "Oh, look at him, he's crazy. Oh, that's dumb," or and I was a joke. The joke's on you now. So that's where we're at with that. So thank you guys again for listening and checking us out. But what I want to talk about is we've been going to Hollywood a lot. We went to go see the Regina King thing, got this great advice. And one of the greatest advices that she gave was, she said, dreams die
in the comfort zone.
Now, what does that mean?
That basically means that, and that was one of the really, probably the only thing I took away from that.
Okay. What
that means is, a lot of times, everybody has a dream.
Yes.
Regardless of what it is, I dream to walk across the street butt naked. Okay.
Yes.
Everybody has a dream, but because people are so used to being comfortable and not going outside of the norm, that's all it is. It's just a dream. Okay. And so it stays where it's at. It never comes to fruition. It never grows any legs and walks anywhere. It's just that. It's just something that ultimately turns into a regret. When you're older, you're rocking in your rocking chair, you're reminiscing. It's a regret. I wish I would have. Back when I was blah, 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 I had a dream to do A, B, C, and D, but I didn't because, I didn't really want to do anything different. I just want to
I want to be cool. And then you wonder why your dream hasn't gone out.
The difference between the dreams and realities are the doers and the don'ts, or the people who don't. Okay. Everybody can have a dream. I mean, there's people I'm sure who dreamt of having a studio.
Right.
I'm going to have a studio. I'm going to have some podcasts and videos. But just kind of right now, I'm going to watch somebody else's shit on TV.
I'm going to do that.
And then there's people like yourself who's like, not only do I have a dream, I'm going to put it together piece by piece. I mean, I've literally watched your thing go from a camera. In fact, I watched a video yesterday. I don't know if you got it in your memories on Facebook.
I probably did.
Of when you interviewed me when we were campaigning.
Yes, I remember that.
That was just your video, your camera phone.
And
now you have all of this.
Right.
So that's the difference between people who dream and people who make it reality.
So, the reason I'm bringing that up is because I want to share with everybody some of the wisdom that we've been getting and what's going on. Because you have a lot of talented people in the Inland Empire. And, oh, by the way, Eloise Reyes is kicking off a campaign coming up. You guys know I got my start politically in the Inland Empire, and I am the Inland Empire Informer, or Tattletale, whatever you want to say it. And I supported Eloise Reyes. She's up for re-election, and I'm going to be supporting her again as well. And you got a call. They called Dee. They haven't called me yet. And I did all the work. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, I got a call from her husband.
Her
like,
husband.
hey, come on down. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, yes, Eloise Reyes, she replaced Chevron Cheryl Brown in San Bernardino, and that was the best replacement. And I am very proud that I helped get rid of an unethical person.
I thought the seat was for longer than 2 years.
No,
It just seemed like it was yesterday.
Yeah, like we were still out there doing and covering her.
So this is coming
events.
up in June or November?
It'll be, the election starts, well, the season starts in November. All the races start in November.
Jeez.
So every 2 years. Because remember, the Assembly is California's Congress.
Right.
So every 2 years. And if you're a senator, it's a little long. I think it's a 4-year term versus the 2. So you got 2 years. But I support Eloise Reyes. I've been with you when you were down there. And I remember we went. It seemed like we were the only black people there.
You know there's going to be some black people that say you're a coon, right?
Of course. And guess what? Coon.
Is that what coons say? Is that how they sound?
If they don't sound like that, I just invented it. That's right. That's right. That's right. And if cooning means supporting somebody who's going to represent the people that voted for her, call me a coon.
Coon on.
Cooning on. There it is. There it is. You know what I mean? Stand up for what's right. If you're gonna down me, hey, I stood up for what I believe what was right. And I'm going to continue to do that.
Well, I mean, to your point too, there's a lot of people who think just because you're a woman or just because you're black, you should automatically be voted for. Now, I will admit, I did vote for Obama because he was black. In addition to he was talking about some good stuff, mostly because he was black. I'm not gonna lie about that.
That's human nature.
But
being the first, one, yeah.
Yeah, but I think a lot of times that gets
skewed.
Yeah, because I should vote for you because you're black. But now, as Dr. Claude Anderson would tell us to do, when these black politicians or wannabe black politicians come to you and say, I need your vote so I can be the first black, blah, blah, blah. All right, I'll think about it. However, what are you going to go and take your ass to City Hall or Congress or Washington and do for black people?
Right. Again,
because we know when you get over there, you're going to talk about, the
not this time.
Everybody.
Yeah. My next term. My next thing.
Right, I didn't come up here for just black people.
Right, and I know this isn't the hot seat. I'll be doing the hot seat later on today. But that's a prime example of Corey Jackson, who happens to be a friend of mine. But just because you're a black man, do not sit there and think I'm going to vote for you because you're black. It's been 4 years, Corey, and we hadn't heard hide nor hair of you. But now all of a sudden you want to run.
It's 4 years.
Been 4 years.
By so gosh.
Yeah, it's been 4 years. We've been involved in this just bullshit for 4 years.
That is crazy to me. But yeah, I mean,
Bell was just a pup.
I would be more reluctant than. This is probably where I get called a coon, but I don't care. I would be very reluctant to vote for somebody black over somebody white because I know what white people gonna go do.
Right,
they're gonna go take care of their own interests, which you expect them to do.
And I always say that it is better to deal with the devil you know versus the devil you don't know.
Well, black people sometimes are worse because they lie to you like white people do, except for. You as a black person who is going to take a seat, perhaps you should be taking the best interest of your community there. Right. There should be no shame in doing that. Right. And I'm not saying doing all your job for black people, but predominantly, you should have the interest of your people, but
you should
they're
be
not going to do that.
Right.
They're going to use you, get up there, and then give you that whole song and dance.
Which is why I am not an Obama supporter. I mean, yes, first black president, I'm proud of that. I understand why he was put there. I know the real deal where a lot of you people just don't know what's going on. The economy was in mass disarray. Occupy Wall Street was all over the country. People were ready to riot. And so what they did, they said, look, we're going to put a black face to quell these people. And guess what? The minute that they did, and they told Hillary to stand down, we've been looking at Obama like this, like, okay, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? And that's how he did it. And then he gets in there, didn't do a damn thing for black people, but he did the gay and lesbian community, the Wall Street people.
DACA.
He did the white people by making the Bush tax cuts permanent. DACA. He did it for everybody else but his own people.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. So, no, I'm not a big Obama. Now, I'm not saying supporter, but, I don't praise Obama. I don't bash him either.
Right.
So I'm not going to do that. But no, Did he do anything for my people? No, he didn't. So, but given the circumstances, it was kind of hard for him when, number one, the Democrats as well as the Republicans obstructed him. A lot of people don't even realize that. They obstructed him. The Democrats went along with it.
Because we do so many shows in one day. This is a Donovan Sadiq show,
Yes,
right?
of course,
Okay, so
of course.
I'm going to just ask you some questions. I know you probably talk about this later on the hot seat.
Yes.
So there are a few black candidates that are running for a few things here
Yes.
and there. Specifically, you have an Aja Smith who is
Oh.
challenging Mark Takano.
Yes.
What is your opinion on all of that? I mean, I know sometimes you probably rather not say because, and that's fine if you don't want to.
Right.
But what's your overall opinion?
I mean, as a political analyst, I have to, tell it the way I see it. And Aja's a good friend of mine. We sat in those tents. We knocked on those doors. I think that she would be a great representative.
Why?
For the simple fact that she understands the issues, and I'm looking at it from a resident standpoint. If I had a person in Congress that lives in my city for what the corruption that's going on in this city, I have an ally that's going to help us get rid of the corruption in the city. So I'm looking at it from that aspect of it. Now, however,
Okay, let me stop here
Okay.
because let me lead you.
Sure, lead
because I
me.
know that is your friend.
yes,
Okay, we're going to role play here. Let's get your thespian,
sure,
or you want to be lesbian?
Thespian, be
Okay,
fine.
thespian skills out. Okay, I'm a black woman, and you're trying to convince me of why I should vote for Aja Smith because I can vote for Aja. So why should I vote for her as a black woman?
Are you living in this city?
Well, it doesn't matter. She's
She's doing the district, but
Yeah.
the only thing that I can
because I live in Riverside, so
Okay.
I can vote for her
okay, right, you live in
Okay,
Riverside.
yeah.
Now, why should you vote for
over Mark Takano.
over Mark Takano?
Yeah.
Well, number one, I don't believe in professional politicians and lifetime politicians. You need to change and shake up the establishment. I believe you should vote for her. In that, I'm going to ask you this: what has Mark Takano done for you?
He hasn't done anything for me.
Right. So why not just change it up just to see what we can do?
Well, I personally, and no shade to her,
Sure.
but I heard an interview that she did where I think it was because she's a Republican, right?
Yeah, she's a Republican.
Yeah, so it's a conservative. Not that I have anything against Republicans, but there's a conservative online something that did an interview with her, and basically the girl asked her about racism, basically alluding that it's not that bad, and she agreed.
Okay.
So
Now,
I mean, I don't know how Aja identifies. I don't even know if she identifies as a black woman. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I should find out.
Yeah.
But just to kind of hear her, concede that fact that racism is basically not what it was, and that's concerning to me.
yeah, I heard that interview too. I don't happen to agree with that aspect of it. The only thing that I personally, like I said, I'm not on her campaign. I don't things like that. I think she has an insurmountable challenge because to run, you got to have a lot of
Is
money.
she going to Washington to take up some of the issues that black people have?
I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't.
You've known her long enough to be able to speculate.
I don't know. Like I said, one thing I do know about her is, she has her own agenda. She has her own mind. I don't know what her platform would be if she did get elected going to Washington, if it would be necessarily black this, black that, black that. I don't know that as of yet because,
Corey Jackson.
Corey Jackson lives in my city. He wants to be a council member. I don't see a platform for Corey. I mean, basically what I'm saying is for Corey Jackson, his platform is, I run a nonprofit that I live off of.
That's his platform?
That's the platform. That's what I get out of it. Because, okay, you run a nonprofit, but the nonprofit doesn't benefit everybody in the city.
And the reason why I'm specifically asking you about these black candidates, since you have me on your show as a guest, as a black person who talks about black stuff.
Yes.
Is because the black constituents or black voters are really starting to wake up and just now realizing, a lot of us have already realized it, but more realizing that really we've just been used and duped.
Of course. That's been going on for years.
So
we're a political football.
Right, and so we're realizing that we're finally saying, "No, I get it."
Well,
okay.
Well, what have I been saying for the last 4 years, trying to wake people up? If you have 30% of black people, a third of this city is controlled by black. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Whatever. Let's say 50% of the voting public is black. We're such a political football that you have to take half of that 50% and cut it in half because half of us don't participate. So that's 25%.
But we know that other half, just going with your numbers, has actually put candidates over
Absolutely.
the top.
Absolutely. But that's what I'm saying. If you're running a campaign, any black vote that you have, any numbers that you get, skew that automatically in half. Now, if you're lucky and you can get people to turn, that's why Obama went over the top, because the black people that were not involved
Clinton.
got involved.
Yeah, a lot
Right.
of those people have.
And that's where
pandered
those
to the-
numbers came from.
Right, have pandered to the black community.
Right.
And so, a lot of black people are really just starting to wake up and saying no more.
Right. And Malcolm X said this in the 60s. The black vote is the determining vote
Absolutely.
of any election. And if they turn us off, and that's what I hate about Hillary. I got my hot sauce, I got this, but the minute she lost, she's blaming black people. Not enough of them niggas came out and voted for me. What?
Well, I don't know if I'm a nigga per se. On some days, it depends on who you ask. I voted for her because honestly, she was the lesser of two evils. It had nothing to do with that damn hot sauce in her bag.
Hey.
And she really did have the hot sauce in her damn bag.
Yeah, no,
too.
but what I'm saying is, okay, people say, well, you shouldn't have voted for. If that's your only option at that point, I don't blame anybody if you voted for Hillary and not Trump. I don't blame you, because there wasn't really much option. Now, me, I voted for Gary Johnson because I could not vote for Hillary.
Why not Jill Stein?
I don't support women. Things that I didn't like her platform. I didn't support women in that aspect.
Women?
No. I support ethical women. Jill Stein, I just didn't.
Well, honestly, I didn't know enough about either one of them. Too.
So Gary Johnson, I supported him, and he was a former congressman and things like that. So I kind of knew a little bit about his thing and whatever. So it's very sad that you have these candidates that are running. I think for me, I would sell people, and all I can do for my friend is deal with the Moreno Valley aspect of it, and being a veteran. I know she would go there to champion veterans issues in our area.
What about black issues?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you what she knows, about black, because I don't know. I really don't about that. But as a veteran, I know she would champion those issues, and I know that with all the corruption in our city, and she lives in this city, it would be a paramount for her to get us help in what's going on here in Moreno Valley. Versus Mark Takano has just said, fuck it.
I mean, I've actually been to a few of Mark Takano's meetings, specifically with the NAACP. They like to have him out for whatever reason, and it's just like watching paint dry. I'll be honest with you. I mean, the dude is...
He just says what he needs to say, and he goes about his business.
Exactly, and, they eat it up. They love it. They eat it up. He could be saying, You
niggas ain't about shit. Yay!
Pretty much, bet you by golly, wow,
Right.
and then a room just erupts. And,
But then you have a progressive young black man or woman that is putting out issues that deal with our community with the NAACP, and they shout that person down.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
And ask him to leave or whatever.
Yeah,
the
because
situation is.
you're going against the status quo.
Right, exactly.
And no shade to the NAACP.
I give him plenty of shade. Fuck y'all. You haven't done nothing for black people, but go ahead.
Okay.
Led us down the wrong road, telling us who our leaders are.
I would just like to say a cleaner version of what you said.
Okay.
In that, the NAACP, I think their philosophy has been and still is to get along within the system.
Mm-hmm.
Let's force our hand. Listen, we want to come eat hamburgers at your counter.
Yeah, fuck John Lewis.
Oh, God. At the restaurant counter, but you...
How many more deaths does it gonna take? Fuck you, John Lewis.
You are on one today.
No, fuck him.
Hey.
That 1963 handkerchief head bullshit does not play. You black congressmen and all you motherfucking so-called leaders are so fucking silent when niggas are being shot in the street and you go in there, do your photo ops and stuff like that. Sit your old ass, Uncle Remus ass, Uncle Ruckus ass down. I had to update that so the kids that are listening that wouldn't understand what an Uncle Ruckus is versus Uncle Remus. Remember Song of the South and Disney, one of the most racist cartoons they ever had, Uncle Remus? Happy nigga.
I'm just trying. Go ahead.
Yeah. But John Lewis, I'm sorry, that is what's wrong with us politically, because these niggas remain silent. You got a black caucus. Niggas are being shot down in the streets. And these niggas act like they are so fucking helpless, but let DACA, they're all running around. Oh, we got to do that. We're going to...
Yeah, and those organizations before you went off.
So I didn't go off. I'm very calm. Continue.
I just think I think that I'm trying to be, because I know a lot.
Make it plain, sister. Make it plain, sister. Make it plain.
I know people within the organization.
Yeah.
Okay?
So do I.
Yeah.
I got an aunt in the organization.
I know you do, and she's gonna whoop your ass when this is over.
Nope. Matter of fact, 2 thumbs up. Two thumbs up.
But I just think, those organizations like you said, they have stifled black people.
They have.
Even to this day, it's like turn the other cheek.
The militancy of the black people.
Let's try to go talk to them.
No.
And let's see why we can't shop in the store.
Right.
Like I said on the show on my show, ain't no way in hell I'm gonna force you to make me eat in your restaurant. Because first of all, I don't know
poisoned.
what you're doing back there to my food.
Pissing in it.
And I mean, why would I want to continue to shove my money down your throat? To me, it just seems like those organizations can say, okay, listen,
they should be leading
1909,
us.
We've been trying this approach, and it ain't working. So let's try something else. How about black people? We go establish our own stuff.
Right. Now, that's a show for D. This is the Donovan Siddiq
Go ahead,
show.
brother. I need to just drink mine.
Right. Drink your tea. What was I saying in regards to that? So I don't know what her platform is, but I can say personally that if I had to sell it, I'd have to say for veterans, she would be a champion for that, and as well as having somebody who will help us in this city of Moreno Valley get rid of the corruption and what has been going on, because she actually lives here.
Maybe you should interview her one day and ask her what her platform is and what she plans to do for black
the
people.
Election season hasn't actually kicked off yet until November. So once November comes up, we're going to get to that as things roll up. But what I want to talk about in regards to Hollywood is, we went with that thing and talking about dreams and how things, and there's a lot of talented people here in the Inland Empire. And that's another thing, like it goes back to the NAACP. You have people that are writers, actors, all these things. And what I found is you will lead a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink. And I know there's a lot of talented young people. And the sad thing with our young people is they will rather just sit there and want you to bring them the fame and the fortune and what's going on. And I'll give you a good example. We've just now went into syndication. Yeah, I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of the accomplishments, as far as we've come. Pastor Don is over the hill, okay, from where he started.
He's old?
Well, he's over the hill. He's there. But, it took us consistency and work.
Absolutely.
And I found that, when you ask young people to do certain things or certain tasks that they are supposedly talented in, they just think it's going to happen. They're just going to be famous like that. I'll put a tattoo in the middle of my forehead like Charles Manson, and I'll be famous too. Lil Wayne is a rapper. He's already there. You're not there yet.
So you probably can show up to the local Piggly Wiggly with look for a job with
Yes.
all over your face.
Exactly. So it's like, they got to understand where their thing is. Now, we're not all that and whatever the deal is.
Yes, we are.
Well, what I'm saying is we're not, starstruck in that aspect. Now, I called you the other day and I was going through my address book and I was, finding Oprah's number in there, and I was finding Spike Lee, John Singleton, O'Shea Jackson, my good friend that kicked me out of NWA back in the day when, we were down there DJing.
Because you was taking over the group.
No, I wasn't taking over the group.
The thing is, I don't want to be called niggers with attitude.
Right, yeah. Well, the military called me. I had to go do my thing, but so I had to leave the group early. But with Arabian Prince, we had to leave early. So
it happens.
It happens. Yeah. So, but I'm going through this book, and I'm going through all these things like that. And some of these numbers work, and some of them don't. So you never know who you're going to meet and come across that could maybe help you get these things like that. So I like to write. I'm a thespian. I really like to act. I like to do a lot of producing. I like to do stuff behind the scenes. And so I'm working toward that goal of just getting it out there and just, do I want to be famous? No, not necessarily, but I like to make people famous. Basically what we do on this show and on your show and other shows, notice that I'm always on the show.
Yeah.
Because it's like Dr. Dre or somebody else. It's like, I want people to know that, okay, well, who's that guy? Why is he always on the...
Well, one thing I would say about you, and I say this to a lot of people about you, is that...
That nigga crazy.
No, most definitely, okay?
Did you hear him go off the other day?
Most definitely. Your ass is touched 5150. But I will say this, you are most definitely a go-getter. There's not a whole lot of things. You're not afraid to just get out there.
Get out there, just go.
It's like... This lady, I can't remember her name, she has this thing that says it's a 5-second rule. that if you don't do it within the 5 seconds that you have the chance to make the decision, more than likely you're not going to do it.
Right.
And so you're one of those type of people who are just like, okay, this is what we need to do. Come on, let's go.
Let's go now.
And you don't have a problem, or you're not afraid to be successful.
I'm not afraid to fail either.
True. Because a lot of people will get out there and say, oh, I want to do something, I want to do that. But yeah, they might laugh at me or they might not like it. I mean, hell, people say stuff about me and you all day long.
All day long.
If that's all it takes to deter your dreams, and it wasn't really your dream in the first place.
And I bring that up as a simple fact that Dee had her show, and I saw her show, and I saw her message of what she's doing. And the Regina King thing, had happened, whatever the deal is. And I'm thinking, you know what? Here's Dee with this show. It's a different type of show where she's saying what she wants to say, and she's talking about black unity and things that you don't hear. And I said, well, Dee, you're doing a live, but the only people that see the live is
my friends,
your friends that are on the thing, and if they share it or something like that, and when I shared it and stuff like that, because people would say, well, where can I listen to her show? And I said, well, yeah, and so I was asking her for weeks, hey,
well, longer than that even.
Yeah, it was longer than that. I was like,
almost a year.
Yeah, I was like, hey, let's connect that with the podcast. That way you could do, put it like this. I don't want to put too much work on her. So what I'm saying is, all you got to do is connect it to the podcast. You're already doing that anyway. It's just getting your message out in a broader sense.
Right.
And so we finally did that. And it kind of made sense to what we were doing because, again, who knows where it leads, but the point is that message of what you're doing is going to affect somebody somewhere.
Well, it also speaks to the whole comfort zone thing, too, because honestly, I was comfortable in my room. Right. I get dressed in my room, and I the tripod up.
Yeah, what you guys don't know is Dee used to do the show, and she was just in her thong. All you saw was up
Not
here.
all the time.
Right.
But yeah,
she wanted it to breathe.
I was comfortable there.
Right.
And so when you would come to me, I'm like, well, yeah, okay, wait, maybe one day I'll do it, do it. And I actually had the conversation with my daughter. She's like, what are you waiting on? Yeah. Why do you keep making excuses? Right. You say you want to do A, B, you know what? Enough said. Enough said. So it was confirmation on top of, like you said, I think we had already did it a week or two when we saw Regina, but that was just more confirmation.
And what I'm saying is that what she said was so pivotal because it just makes sense. If you're in your comfort zone, I'm making my little $20 or whatever it is, you got to dream and just dream big and put it out there and go for it because you never know where it's going to lead. And now we're in syndication. I'm very sure people in Chicago, Houston, they're going to listen. Al shares it, people share it, and that message just gets out wider and wider because as long as you stayed in your bedroom, that revolution that you want to start is only going to stay within your group of friends list, period.
But I mean, and that's, kind of can stretch into other things. Your personal revolution, I actually like that. Your personal revolution will, I guess it should be personal to some degree, but if you have an interest in sharing it with other people, you are going to have to step outside of your comfort zone because I can't remember what it was. Some comedian used to make a joke about people, maybe it was Robin Harris, who would say, I talk about how people wanted a job, and they talk about, what you think the job is going to come knock on the door, talking about, hi, I'm a job.
Yeah, I'm a job.
Yeah, you got to go out there and
go
do it. But a lot of people, as you said, especially the younger ones, they're just, I just want it to be given to me.
Right, and there's so many talented people, and I'm going to use a good example. I don't know how much kicking and dragging I got to do. I now have contracted somebody to write for me. Just write an outline. Now, if that was me, I would have had that outline done within 2 to 3 days.
Shit, you gave to me a couple dollars, I'd do it for you in 2 hours.
But see, you're already where you want to be. I'm trying to embolden these younger people.
You can't drag the unwilling.
That's true.
You can't make them drink the water once you take them.
That's true. But what I'm saying is, with technology and media, I'm an older guy, and I'm doing editing, and I'm doing all this stuff. You could make your own shows. We made our own podcast. She made her own show. It could be done. You don't have to be out here begging people. So you got to work. You got to eat. You got to do what you got to do. We're doing what we got to do. But the point is, though, if I had a friend named Ray or Pookie or Donovan or whatever, and he says, well, man, hey, this guy's got a studio or a green screen, and let me see.
Right now, he ain't charging you, but that's about to end.
But wait. We're all started together, right? Like Eazy-E, and they're all from Compton. Right. Hey, we're all going to start together, and do our thing, and you branch off, do your thing, whatever. And that's fine. Somebody's going to make it. The statistics are the odds of making it because you can make your own shows, write your own shows. I love writing and just, writing outlines and ideas of what I can do, because I looked at my address book and I said, you know what? Oprah probably doesn't give a damn or even remember me or whatever. We used to date back in the day. But I was her, her sugar boob. Stedman didn't know about me. I stayed out of that.
That sounds like part of the script that somebody writes.
Right. I'm writing it right now.
Acting it right now, okay.
But my point is just like what Regina said. You got 3 minutes. Even if you get her attention.
That's 3 minutes is a long time. That's what I thought.
So if you don't have a script ready or email, let me get your email.
Or have your thing down.
That's what I want to share with everybody. Get it. If you want to be famous and get into the entertainment business. Now, I want to get into the entertainment business, but I want to do it on my terms. That's why I do this show.
You're well on your way.
Right. I want to do the show, get things out. Like I said, we had people, of course, they always curse me out, but they were talking about Dee. She didn't even know. Talk about, look at her. She thinks she all that, blah, blah, blah.
You need to do something different
with your hair and stuff like that.
All of that.
But if they're not talking about, and this is a person that was from nowhere in California.
Yeah, I mean, but again, you don't have if you trying to put yourself out there,
you got to put yourself out there.
You got to put yourself out there unapologetically, and then have some thick skin and laugh at that. To me, that was cute. You can do something better with your hair, or because I know who I am. That doesn't affect me.
Right, but how many views did we get on that video?
Quite a bit.
We got a lot of views.
Quite a bit.
Now remember, right now you're doing a video, which goes on YouTube. We're doing a podcast. And this goes on Facebook and all the other platforms. I mean, Google Plus and whatever. Right. So all kinds of people are seeing this, from Pakistan or wherever these people are, India and stuff like that. So you got to really get out there and get your name. And when I walk around the Inland Empire, people recognize me from, you're that guy that does that one show.
You got to start wearing bulletproof vests.
Yeah, well, I do. Up in the club.
Okay. You be up in Windcoast. Right. There he
is. Yes. For those that don't know, the African-American young ladies do not like the Donovan Sadiq show because I talk about weave and all kinds of stuff that goes on that I do not like. You more
than talk about the damn weave, okay?
Hey, now.
On the Morlocks.
Well, yeah, you see the video? As a matter of fact, you want to know what a Morlock is? Let's take a look. That's a Morlock. And that's what we have. And that's what you look like to me. Because like I said, look at Dee. Beautiful. I mean, as a matter of fact, Al's at the airport right now.
Early,
yeah. He's trying to get down here to get to this. Okay, so and that's another thing. What I'm saying, and I know we're joking and stuff a lot. And like I said, and it's mostly for the podcast. But what I'm saying is, I'll read comments where people are just like thirsting over Dee, like, oh my God, that's an attractive woman. Oh my God, this is that. Now I've known this woman for over 30 years. Yeah, the booty's still pretty much where it's at. The breasts are a little, they're in the middle. They dropped down a little bit, but she had a baby and everything like that. System. But I'm telling you, all in all, after 30 years, those genes in her family, she's still well put together. She's pretty much what she was. I mean, she ain't hopping the fences like she used to.
A lot of tape and glue.
Yes. And some people are blessed like that.
A lot of smoke and mirrors.
And so. My point on this show is for the young people and the advice. I mean, we went down there, we saw Regina King, and we're meeting Ollie. We were in Beverly Hills. And you got to put yourself in a position to be...
That's true.
To meet these people and to experience these people and see different things and what people are doing. You just can't sit up here in Moreno Valley and say, well, I'm just going to sit here and wait. Remember that album Ice Cube had? Ice Cube would be like, that's when he was with the Nation of Islam, or, he supported Nation of Islam. He was like, what are you doing? I'm sitting here waiting for Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, since she's in here waiting for Jesus, you're going to need that car?
Right.
Nope, won't need it.
And that's what a lot of people do. But if you think about it, too, in this day and age of Hollywood and stardom, nowadays you just got to do is drop a sex tape.
That's it.
But
nobody wants to see no black folk.
Kardashian clan.
Well, the Montana Fishburne tried that, and it didn't really work out too well for her.
Well, she's a sister.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody wants.
Yeah.
You can get Ebony Street Hookers.
Oh my God,
the $3.99 DVD. You can get that anywhere.
Ebony Street.
Yeah, you can get that anywhere. Just go to one of the bookstores. $3.99.
Ebony Street Hookers.
It's sad. In our community, we talked in the last show how our young ladies are out there doing things. We talked about Kanika Jenkins, where I think that a lot of what she did was that she was being introduced to the life, the game, what they call it, the game of prostitution, which they now are calling human trafficking. And I think they were going to make her
or to your other theory, maybe she was a sugar baby.
Yeah, sugar baby or
getting
something
on with
like
these
that.
Sugar daddies and
But what I'm saying is, you could make. I mean, I've been watching these shows. These shows are garbage. And if they're making these shows and writing these shows like that, I know a lot of the young people out there that are writing stuff and either your lyrics or whatever you're doing. You're not going to be found sitting in your damn dresser drawer.
right. Yeah, well,
You got to get out there and submit
what you
these things.
think about it though? Now compared to when we were coming up,
There's so many avenues.
yeah, I mean, you could
You can
just
email it.
you could go viral just
Right.
by putting a video out there. And I went viral once or twice,
Right,
but, you know.
right.
Um,
Yeah, I saw that one. Mom's MILF.
you lying? No. But yeah, it's so easy nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be a fluke and you go
Yeah.
viral, and there's just these two dudes who they went to Poly High School.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the premise, but the tagline was "Damn Daniel," and the two friends ended up on. I guess when he would do something, his friend would be like, "Damn Daniel,"
Right.
ended up on Ellen. It has some.
Oh,
to do
yeah,
with the
yeah, I think I saw
bands,
that
and
one,
bands
yeah.
gave him,
Right.
lifetime supply of shoes
Yeah.
and endorsements. All for some damn Daniel.
Right. But what I'm saying is there's a lot of people with a lot of talent out there, and I'm not saying I'm inspired to do it, but like I said, I'm seeing a lot of doors open where people are saying, hey, why don't you do this, or why can't you do that? Can you write this for me? Can you do this for me?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not in a point where I want to be famous like that, because I know I don't want to be the hoe. I want to be the pimp. Okay, and being the pimp is, like I said, people like Babyface. He writes the songs, he produces the songs, but he ain't on tour performing the songs.
I saw somebody say that on my page not too long
Mm-hmm.
ago. Say, and there's two things in life. You're either gonna be pimping or hoeing.
Right. I want to be pimping. So this is why if you see me on various shows, the reason why I'm on various shows is, let's say D's show gets picked up.
He's pimping everybody, y'all.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm doing because
we got the fishnets on.
Yeah, because first thing, let's say D's show gets picked up on a radio broadcast
Not
or whatever.
if.
When it gets picked up, they're going to say, well, who's the guy in the video with you? He doesn't really say much or whatever it is. Oh, that guy produces the show. Oh, okay,
Right.
well, what kind of producer is that?
Unless I do a Diana Ross on you, I don't know that Negro.
Right.
No.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing unless you have somebody you love to share it with.
Right.
There it is.
Right.
Hollywood, where are you at? Denzel's getting old.
That might be a viral moment right there. Because I was convinced, like, ooh.
Well, if you're on the radio, you listen on the radio, yes. Yes, bitch, yes. You gotta get that. You gotta get that voice.
Yes, bitch, yes.
bitch, yes. So, but but like I said, there's a lot of stuff out there, and like I said, I'm just telling you, your dreams are not gonna happen if you're just sitting on your ass smoking weed and watching TV and playing PlayStation all day. You've got to get out there and make it happen. You want to make a lot of money? I tell people get into politics. You can make good money there. There's just so many avenues, but I'm just telling you, it's not going to come to you. The bottom line is, it's not going to come.
You got to go get it. Anything you want, it's yours to go get. But again, a lot of people, especially young people, or maybe not even young people, because I see older people, they're under the impression that I'm not supposed to struggle. Life is not supposed to be this hard. And so then they give up, or they go, like, I have a master's. You have 11 degrees,
Yeah. Bachelor's, yeah.
and all of that, I could go get a job,
Sure.
although we know jobs are kind of scarce now.
They're
They
kinda
kind of
scarce.
pay you with a master's
Yeah,
$14 an hour.
And most of the good jobs are for white people, so
Right.
they're for their people.
So you're at a point to where either you do or you die for your damn self.
Right.
You got to make your opportunities,
Right.
but people they won't.
Right. I'm going to ask you this real quick. The movie review, black movie review.
Okay.
Recently, Stars finally got back to the Black Channel. So I'm going to start recording. Oh, but not say that. I'm going to start. I'm going to start reviewing.
Yes.
And for my personal use and backup movies for myself for my personal use, which is legal.
Fair trade use. And
yes,
all
fair
that.
use.
Got it.
The Black Channel movies on Star, because they had got rid of it for a while, and then it just popped back up, which is good. Recent black movie that's coming out. Please do not say Medea Boo. What would you recommend somebody to go see coming
Well,
up?
that's what I was going to say.
Well,
No, just
sorry
wait.
about that. I'm going to say Pam Grier is 68 years old. Okay.
Damn.
Lives in Colorado. She has a ranch
Look
out there.
good,
She
though.
still looks good.
I think she's a vegan and all of
Yeah,
that.
yeah. She still looks good. You know, put on a little weight, but a very sexy woman. I've been watching a Pam Grier retrospective of some of the movies she's played in and some of the
I just found out a movie that I'm going to check out. It's called The Twilight People. Have you seen that? It's, I actually stumbled upon it today.
Okay.
It's one of her earlier movies.
Okay.
I think even before she blew up in blaxploitation.
Right. Well, there's a movie called Big Mama, Big Sister, something like that. White Mama,
Black Mama,
and then there's one that caged women, The Arena, I think it was called, or something like that. But anyway, so in my segment, what I want to do is, like I said, I'm a thespian and I love entertainment, I love movies. I've always said I want it to be, and it's going to end soon. It's called Star Trek Continues, and I put the video out on my Facebook page where they're doing Where No Man Has Gone before. And basically, that was the first time William Shatner was on Star Trek. It was the pilot of Star Trek. So they've kind of continued this where they kind of went to a second part. And I saw the first episode last night of this second continuation of it. And it goes back to what I'm saying. Star Trek Continues is a web episode show. And it has the very same premises as the original Star Trek.
So who's producing it?
It's a guy named Vix Magnon and stuff. It's basically fandom type stuff. And you can do it yourself. And it's a very popular thing. It was done with funds that are donated by people on GoFundMes and stuff like that.
That's actually pretty big, the fandom.
The fandom stuff. And so you can do these things. And the writing on that show is really good. And what I'm looking for, and I'm going to give this out, is if you're a Trekkie like myself, I want to write a backstory for the Admiral Cartwright character, which was played by, what's his name from To Kill a Mockingbird? He was the black guy that was on trial.
I know you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. But a very excellent actor.
I don't know why William.
But he was a very excellent actor, awesome guy. Very African looking, black looking.
Yeah, Mandingo.
Yeah, Mandingo looking, a very very good actor. Brock Peters.
Yeah,
Brock Peters.
Got it.
Brock Peters was his name, and I wanted to get a backstory to how he became admiral. See, so now I could actually write a series for myself just based on that character, and using green screen and all the technology, I can make my own web episode, and maybe it might even get picked up.
Do you need somebody to play Ura?
Well, I won't have a Ura because remember, this guy's older than them.
Because I can dust it off.
No, that's what I'm saying. I can bring you in and be like, you can play my mom. Oh. No, I'm just messing with you. Or we could do a Black Roots in Space.
Remember on Mommy Dearest when Joan Crawford took over her daughter's part when she was sick?
Yeah,
and she.
Oh God.
That would be. The damn cue cards are too low. Damn it.
But the point is, you got to put it out there. Because like I said, what if my acting sucks, but my writing is good for the show? And that's my premise that I want to put out there for young people and people that want to write. And so that's what I want to do. I'm going to start writing a backstory on that, and maybe even some other stories because your mother was a writer.
Yes, and some of us got it from her. We got it honest. Deanna's writing.
Right, she's writing and things like that. And see, and that's something that I'm looking at. Short episodes that we can put up. And we can find actors to do acting right here in the Inland Empire and just start doing our own things and get funding for it. And so anything's possible if you dream big enough, but you can't dream. Your dreams are going to die in your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
So you guys think about that. A lot of stuff. Again, thank you, Dee, for coming on the show. DK, 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. She is on Facebook Live on Sundays. And when she's live, she also has a YouTube channel, Demetra K. Check it out. And she also has her own podcast, The Demetra K Show, where she talks about black militant taking over, Pam Grier kicking you in the face, if you like it or not.
Razor blades and an afro.
That's it. So when you hear her, like when they talk about Foxy Brown and Jackie Brown, they're talking about DK. And she ain't taking no shit. She's telling it the way it is.
And I don't even care about the names. Taking ass and taking no names.
No names. And, she's just telling her truth. And if you don't like it, keep it on moving. So, check that out. The Daryl Terrell Times. Daryl's still got his show going on as well. The Hot Seat Radio Show. We're going to do that later on this afternoon. This has been the Donovan Sadiq Show. I really thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to be doing big things, and I want you guys to check stuff out. But before we go, I'm going to give you a snip clip of the Star Trek episode that I'm talking about. You guys check it out. The quality, the production in this, it doesn't take a lot to do, and they did a really good job. And again, why aren't there enough Negroes in space? Are we all just
We scared of
Klingons?
heights?
Are we all just Klingons or
Yeah,
what?
we clinging on to this planet, okay?
Yeah.
We ain't trying to go nowhere that far.
Yeah, remember that cartoon? No, remember that movie? It was a TV show, The Brothers in Space?
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Of course, because ain't really no brothers going in
Oh
space.
my God,
Come on
it's
now.
terrible. And remember Rickety Rocket, Saturday morning cartoon? Rickety Rocket,
Yeah.
last night. Anyway, they're very stereotypical stuff. But hey, we thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys again next week because ready or not, here we come.